Hello all of you. Welcome to the next session of our social studies history lesson. In the previous lesson, we have seen what is history. Come on children, recollect what is history. The study of past events is known as history. Once again, the study of past events is known as history. Why should we study history? Why? History helps us understand the present, and can even give us clues about what might happen in future. So we can understand today's situation and we can get clues about future. So it helps understand the present and the future. Meeru ala rasina kuda answer correct. It helps us understand the present and the future. Even that answer is right. Question may be asked in this way. What is history? Why should we study history? The study of past events is known as history. History helps us understand the present and the future. Okay, what is prehistory, children? The time period before the written recording. The writing is invented in which year? 3200 BCE. The time period before the written recording of history is called prehistory. Writing kante mundu, before writing is invented anna kuda correct. The time period before writing records of history is called as prehistory. What is history? The time period after the written recording of history is called as history. After written recording. Written ga రాయక ముందు దాన్ని prehistory అంటాము. Written గా రాసిన తర్వాత history. Past లో జరిగిన ఈవెంట్స్ చదవడానికి history. History ఎందుకు చదవాలి? ఇవాళ రోజు సిచ్యువేషన్ క్లియర్ గా అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి హెల్ప్ చేస్తుంది. రేపు ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అనేది తెలియజెప్పడానికి హిస్టరీ పనిచేస్తుంది. రైటింగ్ డిస్కవర్ చేయక ముందు పీరియడ్ ఏమంటాము? ప్రీ హిస్టరీ. రైటింగ్ వచ్చి అన్ని కూడా మనం రాసుకోవటం మొదలు పెట్టిన తర్వాత పీరియడ్ ఏమంటాం? హిస్టరీ. దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ వీ స్టడీ టిల్ ప్రీవియస్ క్లాస్. నౌ లెట్ us see how do we know so much about past. ఎప్పటిదో విషయాలు మాట్లాడుకుంటుంటాం కదా. బర్త్ ఆఫ్ క్రైస్ట్, బిఫోర్ రైటింగ్. హౌ డు యూ నో? త్రూ సమ్ సోర్సెస్. కొన్ని సోర్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఏంటయ్యా సోర్సెస్ అంటే, సి స్టడీయింగ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ and gathering clues. Studying objects. In the last class I have shown you a toy cart, a vessel, which are obtained in excavations. Excavations ante when we dig the soil. Excavations, soil తవ్వినప్పుడు మనకి కొన్ని బొమ్మలు చూపించాం మనం. Beads, chain. Do you remember? Yes, these are the things. See, this is an object which might be used to cut the stems we discussed. This is a toy cart, a bead chain, and a vessel for storage. So by looking at these objects, we know that some people lived in those periods and they used such objects. So one source is gathering objects and gathering clues about the objects. Such objects are called as artifacts that are made by human being. Such objects which we get from the soil are one of the sources of history. What does these sources tell? Suppose if I dig my soil, I got a coin. If you see the coin, what will be there in today's coins? Have you ever seen today's coins? What objects are there on coins? Can anyone recollect? Come on, see. One of you take from your pocket and see. What are there on coins? On some coins, we see the 3 lions. And the year will be written 2004. So we can understand that the coin belonged to which year. So like that, in the olden days also, on the coins, the name of the king will be written. Name of king will be written, or some images will be seen. So that tells about history. So what is a source? How do we know about the past? Through some sources. What is a source? A historical source is something that tells us about history. A historical source. What is a historical source? It is something. It can be a building, Charminar. When was it built? We see Buddha Stupa in Nelakondapalli. What does it tell? It tells that Buddha's disciples stays here. We see Gadis in Nadigudam. What do they tell us? They tell that Rajakars or the people belonging to the king live in those Gadis. So, the source may be a document. Adoka document avvachu. Oka bomma avvachu. It might be a book, a building, or an artifact. Artifact. What is historical source? Something that tells about history. Historical source is something that tells about history. Examples of historical sources: a document. I have shown you a document. An US flight throwing atom bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That's a document in the form of a picture or a video. We have seen a picture. We have seen a picture of Ashoka's inscription. A book. A building. Charminar is a one big building which tells about Qutub Shahi's glory. Or an artifact. Toy cart we have seen is an articraft. Okay, children? Once again, what are historical sources? Historical sources are something that tells about history. Once again, repeat. Historical source is something that tells about history. Examples of sources: documents, sometimes bones of animals. If you get a dinosaur bone, we can guess that some time ago dinosaurs lived there. Sometimes we see snakes' skin in the ground. What do we assume by that? We know that some snake is moving here and there. It is peeling off its skin. ఎప్పుడన్నా పాము చర్మం కనపడగానే గ్రౌండ్లో ఏమనుకుంటారు మీరు? అమ్మో ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడో పాము ఉండుంటుంది, చర్మం ఉంది అనుకుంటాం కదా. అట్లానే ఇవన్నీ కూడా these are called as sources. Let us see more about the sources. Historical sources are of two types: literary sources, archaeological sources. What is a historical source? Anything that tells something about history. Okay? Anything that tells about history. Historical sources are how many types? Two types. Literary. Literacy means something related to education. Literary sources. Archaeological sources. Archaeological archaeological sources. Do you know what is archaeology? It is a human activity. It finds some artifacts, some sites, some buildings by digging soil in a methodical way. They dig soil and they search for some sources of history. That is called as archaeology, the study of human activity through recovery of some materials is called as archaeology. Okay, children? How many types of sources are there? Historical sources are two types. Literary sources, archaeological sources. Once again, what is source? Historical source? Source is something that tells about history. How many types of sources are there? Historical sources and literary sources and archaeological sources. What are literary sources? I told you literacy means something related to education. Okay, children? Literary sources. Literary sources are two types. Manu by man, script, writing. Something written by man, manuscript, and inscription. Something written on metal or stone. Metal or stone. What is manuscript? Script is writing. Manu means man. If man writes, it is called as manuscript. Inscription, again script. But inscription, it is etched on metal or stone. Stone meeda gaani, metal meeda gaani, mana dabbala meeda mana peru chekkutaru. Chusara eppudaina? That is inscription. Stone meeda chekkutaru. Do you know? That is inscription. So literary sources are two. Manuscript written by man. Inscription written on metal or stone. I will show you how do they write. The second source is archaeological sources. Artifacts, seal, HM seal అంటాం అంటే ఏంటి స్టాంప్. సో పూర్వపు రోజుల్లో ఎటువంటి స్టాంపులు సీల్స్ వాడేవారు. ఆర్టిఫాక్ట్స్, seals, monuments, that is buildings. So what are the archaeological sources? One, artifact. Pronounce 5 times. Artifact. Yes, 4, 5. Seals, monuments. Let us see what are the literary sources. I already told you. Something written by hand. In India, it was written on palm leaves. చేత్తో రాసిని ఎక్కడ రాసేవాళ్ళం? అప్పుడు పేపర్ లేదు. దేని మీద రాసేవాళ్ళం? తాటాకుల మీద రాసేవాళ్ళం. దాన్ని తెలుగులో మనం ఏమంటామో తెలుసా? తాళ పత్ర గ్రంథాలు. తాళపత్ర గ్రంథాలు. తాళపత్రము అంటే తాటి ఆకు మీద రాసిన బుక్. తాళపత్ర గ్రంథాలు. సో manuscript, writing by man. Where do they write in India? On palm leaves. Next, written records that are etched into stone or metal. Do you know the meaning of etched? మనం తెలుగులో ఏమంటామంటే చెక్కుడు అంటాం. ఇదిగో చూడండి ఎట్లా చెక్కారో చూపిస్తాను. అదిగో see, there is a stone with a sharp object. They are etching on the stone. That is called as etching. Writing something on stone or metal with a sharp object. Writing something on a stone or metal with a sharp object is called as etched. Now I think you know what are literary sources. One is manuscripts and other one is inscription. What is manuscript? Script by man. Manishi rasina script ni manuscript antamu. In India, where they were written? On palm leaves. What are inscription? Written or etched on hard surfaces like stone or metal. Hard surfaces మీద రాస్తే అది inscription అంటాము. These are the literary sources. I'll show you some manuscript. This is the image given in your textbook. I'll show the real manuscript here. See, this is on a leaf. See that writing on the leaf. That is manuscript. And this is the pillar inscribed by Ashoka during the time of Kalinga war. This is inscription. Now let us see archaeological sources. I already told you, archaeology gathers sources that are buried in the ground. భూమిలో పూడుకుపోయి తీస్తుంది. ఏమేమి తీస్తుంది? It gathers artifacts and monuments. So archaeology is the study of things that ancient people made, చేత్తో చేసినవి, built, కట్టినవి, used and left behind, వాడి పడేసినవి. Archaeology is the study of things that ancient people made, built, used and left behind. Okay, used and so they may include the tools. వాళ్ళు వాడిన వస్తువులు అవ్వచ్చు, వాళ్ళు వాడిన వెపన్స్ అవ్వచ్చు. మనం చూసాం ఆల్రెడీ. We have seen a weapon, we have seen a pot, we have seen one ornament, a bead chain, we have seen coins also, pans, పాత్రలు. These all are called as artifacts. By looking at them, we can say how those people utilized the vessels, what type of vessels they used, what type of coins they used. And archaeological sources, as I said you, there are artifacts, seals. See, these are artifacts. See, that is a boat. This shows that in those days also boats are there. That is a cart, toys, plates. See the pot. These all are artifacts found in Indus Valley Museum. Plates, different types of vessels. These are collected from the soil. These got buried in the soil. Archaeologists, they dug the soil and they collected all these for us. చూడండి ఎంత అందమైన బొమ్మలు వాడారు. వాళ్ళు కొలిచిన దేవుళ్ళు అయి ఉండవచ్చు. See the animals. యానిమల్ బొమ్మ పెట్టారు అంటే యానిమల్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఉండబట్టే కదా. Those are the ornaments. How beautiful. Even today we find these are new fashion now. Now let us see the seals, stamps. On your progress card you will definitely have your principal's stamp. In those days kings used to use these seals. See the seals. Yes, this is one kind of stamp, a man killing the bull. This is one stamp. This is one type of seal. These all are seals. How did we get them? We got them from soil, through archaeology. See the ornaments. Even today in some movies like Bahubali, they prepared these type of jewelry. See the parts, how beautiful parts are there. Okay, now you understood artifacts. Those are tools made by man. Now you understood what are seals. Now let us see coins. Let us see coins. This is one coin here. What is written there? George King, 1 rupee coin of India. Once again, see, George V King Emperor, 1 rupee India in 1911. So this tells that in 1911 there was a king called as George V in India. So this is one Archaeological source. The coin tells us about the past. Kada past cheppindi kada. This is 1921 1 rupee, 1919 1 rupee. All these are rupees 3,500 to 2,500 to 3,500 during the time of George V. Okay, children. So even they tells that the language used in India those days is English. So can you identify and bring one coin, and could you tell me what the coin tells you about? Now let us see third archaeological evidence, that is monuments. Monuments are buildings or structures or pillars. Monuments are structures or buildings or pillars that were built by old kings or olden days people in memory of a person or an event. In memory of a person or an event. Okay, children. There is a monument called as Vijayastambha in Chittoor Fort. When Kingdom of Mewar won over Malwa Sultanate in 1448, this monument is built. See, this is the monument. I'll take you there. I'll show the video. This is Vijayastambha in Chittoor. See, all the tourists are going and seeing this monument. Do you know, children, near to Kodad we have one monument. Could you tell me? There is one monument which tells us that the disciples of Buddha, ante Buddhist people, Kodad pakkana unna oka urlo unnaru ani cheppataniki oka monument undi. What is that? Buddha Stupa. See, if people are spoiling the monument, how do you feel, kids? You feel happy or sad? We go there to see Charminar. We spit there. We throw all the snacks papers there. Can we do that? No. These are golden memories of our victory of our kings. So we should preserve them. See, this is Buddha Stupa. Chudandi, care lekunda etla ayipoyindo. At least it is not clean. One day we take permission of the management and we go and clean the area. See how all the weed plants are grown there. This is near our town in Khammam district. The name is Nelakondapalli. Buddhist people lived there. So this was built there. Okay, children? Now see this, look around. Research any one historical monument near your town or city. You should go there. Either to Buddha Stupa or in Khammam one Killa is there, or Gadis of Nadigudem, and write a few lines about it. See, here a girl, Shabana, visited few monuments during her vacation. She has recorded a few actions of the people she observed at each monument. It is given in the table. How would you feel, whether sad or happy? People spitting. Spitting means ummi vedam, spitting on the walls. Happy or sad? Come on, draw here. Gardener tending to public gardens. Gardener tending to public gardens. That means behaving. Tending means behaving in a peculiar way. Okay, children? So it is not taken care. How do you feel? Children scribbling on the walls. Visitors littering around the monument. Staff asking visitors to form a well-organized queue. Gardener tending to the public garden, behaving in a peculiar way to the public garden. That is a public garden. Gardener is Tending means this you can take positively only. Okay. Next, while visiting a historical place, have you ever behaved in the way that has contributed to sad emotion? ఎప్పుడైనా మీరు కూడా లెటర్ వేసారా, వాల్స్ మీద రాసారా? ఇఫ్ ఎస్, డోంట్ డూ దట్. Even sometimes I see naughty children doing it even to your school property. That is too sad. You should not do that. Okay, children? With this, I end the lesson. I hope you remember what is manuscript, what is inscription, what are artifacts. Okay, children? What are the coins? What are the monuments? And I have shown you a monument nearby our town. Hope you prepare this part very well so that you get entire mind map of the lesson. With this, I end the lesson.